Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for plenty more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun, and advice. It's all waiting for you at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Happy Monday. Every Monday, we are live right here on Facebook, YouTube, wherever we are. Sorry, I forgot where I was. Every Monday, we are live here on YouTube, hanging out, talking about the most important thing in the whole wide world, which, of course, is a Royal Caribbean cruise. And we're going to answer as many cruise questions as I can today, starting with the most important question. How many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Keep your countdown in chat. Let's count down together. I am at 4 more days. This Friday, I'll be boarding Navigator of the Seas for the next Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise. Can't wait, not just because I'm going to be meeting Pascal, but because we're going to have all our friends on board. It's going to be amazing. Cruising down to the Baja Peninsula, checking out some amazing places in Mexico. I'm very excited for it. And, of course, we'll be going live from Navigator of the Seas or somewhere in Mexico next week. More on that a little later. And I'm looking forward to seeing all your countdowns in the chat. Lots of people already here, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming in, saying hello, hanging out with us here. We had a number of super chats before the broadcast began. So, sorry. Now, okay, no, did I fix it? No. Okay, I think I fixed it now. Sharice Isaac, thank you for the super chat earlier before the broadcast began. Michael Healy, thank you for the super chat. Michael wrote, are there any differences when taking a charter cruise? Yes. He asked, can you still purchase a drink package and dining? And the answer is it depends on the chartering company. You may not have a drink package or even earn Crown and Anchor points. It's not a true Royal Caribbean cruise, but ultimately the chartering company can spend extra and get certain things like a drink package or other things. But if it's a true charter in which a company buys out a ship and you can only get on board through that third party, oftentimes the answer is no to those things. William Neeson, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Jonathan Pace, thank you, Jonathan, for the super chat. Ovation in 5 weeks. We got a grand suite this time and have Coastal Kitchen question. Would we get the same wait staff if we ate there every night, like in the main dining room, or would it be random? It would be random. There's not a ton of staff to begin with. Like, it's not like as big as the dining room, obviously, but you don't have assigned tables or anything like that, Jonathan. It's more like a specialty restaurant where you go, you could certainly request the same wait staff and say, hey, could we get a table with, so-and-so? And you may have to wait for it. But it's more like my time dining in that way, in the sense of how the table assignments are made. But yeah, hope you enjoy the suite, man. Doing the suite life is a really nice upgrade. No doubt about it. Let's see here. Lanita, thank you for the super chat. Also, big shout out to, I see Megan Hayes from MEI Travel in the house. Lanita says 45 days until a back-to-back on Spectrum of the Seas. If my status goes up a level while on the second cruise, will I advance while on the ship or only once the last cruise is over? Good question. You will, if you do absolutely nothing will happen. But I got good news for you. What you want to do is the cruise. Let's say you're on a particular sailing, and during that sailing you accrue enough points to move up now to the next level in Crown and Anchor Society. You won't get that obviously on the current sailing, but if you're doing like a back-to-back and you want for the next sailing, what you want to do, Lanita, is go speak to the loyalty ambassador on board, let them know what's going on, and they will manually advance you. So that way, on your next sailing, the back-to-back one, you'll have an opportunity to reap those benefits there. Lanita, thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Lots of people saying hello. Jonathan Pace in the house. I see Ron Ladowski is here. Nick Wong is here. Herrera family is here. Marina says Jen from MEI Travel is amazing. She really is. She was incredible. Jen won an award last year. I believe she had the most sales or bookings or something with an MEI Travel, which is saying a lot. So yeah, she's amazing. Let's see here. What is my favorite part of Harmony of the Seas? I think the shows, the entertainment's really nice on Harmony. I really like it quite a bit. It's really fantastic. Let's see here. The Teresa McShane in the house. Hello, Teresa. Good to see you. Kevin wants to know, if you miss an excursion booked through Royal Caribbean, do you lose your money or will they refund you? If you miss it because of negligence and you're probably like, you overslept, you forgot about it, I don't know, I think you're out of luck, buddy. I mean, you could maybe, plead your case and give them a good story. Maybe they'll help you out, but technically you're out. If it's on you, it's on Royal Caribbean, the ship can't stop, can't dock there, then you get a refund, not to worry there. Michael Krieger, thank you. Welcome on board Wonder of the Seas. Awesome. Very jealous of you. Kathy Crandall. Kathy, thank you for the super chat. 5 days till Jewel, 455 days till Radiance. Nice. Desiree Hall. Desiree, thank you as always. Very generous with super chats. Thank you, Desiree. A red rose by any other name would be a cruise in the Caribbean or something like that. I'm getting my, is that Shakespeare? I don't even know if it's Shakespeare. I'm getting my classic metaphors messed up. Hello, Desiree. Hope you are doing well. Welcome. Gigi wants to know, what is your favorite port and least favorite port? Favorite's a tough one. There are many that I like for different reasons. Like San Juan, Puerto Rico is always great. I love Cozumel because the food is amazing. Juneau, Alaska, I love exploring there. So I really can't give you my, one favorite. Least favorite? I mean, it's tough. There are many that, not many, there aren't that many, but it's more I think a lot of them are on me. I mean, Falmouth, Jamaica is one that stands out, but I think maybe I just haven't found something I truly love over there. So that's part of it. Josh, don't remind me I'm on a cruise. Carruthers. What's up, Josh? Hello from Navigator Sail Away. Lance and I wish you were here. Hashtag pre-group cruise. Hashtag Matt wasn't invited to go on there. You think you know your friends sometimes. So we have a great time. Hello, Lance. But I gotta say, I'm feeling lonely over here, all by myself at home. Norman wants to know, how do you contact the casino host going in 7 days to Alaska? They have a desk, Norman, in the casino, and you can just stop by. They have regular hours. If you go there and they're not there, you'll see a little sign, and it says what time they'll be there. Michael, from Onboard the Wonder of the Seas. Hello, Michael. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Dominator, thank you for the super chat. What do you recommend to do for Oasis and Coco Key? Well, Oasis of the Seas, obviously, there's a lot to do on board. See the shows. That's the big thing, Dominator. You want to see all the shows. The ice skating shows, the shows in the Royal Theater, the shows in the Aqua Theater. No matter how weird it might sound, I know it's kind of weird because on land, I will never go to an ice skating show. On land, I would probably never even go to an Aqua show if that even exists on land somewhere. It's not my cup of tea. But Royal does a really great job of it. The shows are pretty short in length, with the exception, of course, of Cats. That's a full Broadway show. But it's all included. It's definitely worthwhile. And what to do with Coco Key? I mean, honestly, you just pick a beach and hang out there. That's the beauty of Coco Key. It's big enough. There's a lot to do, but it's small enough that if you go to Chill Island and you're like, well, this is nice, but I want to try something else, it's very easy to go do that. Deputy Get Some, thank you for the super chat. How does Coastal Kitchen compare to Chops and other specialty restaurants? We're in a junior suite for the first time, but also have unlimited dining package. The cuisines are different. I mean, in terms of food quality, I'm not one to speak on food quality. I'm not a food critic by any means. It's good. I think a lot of people who are big fans of Coastal Kitchen would tell you that it's an elevated dining experience relative to the main dining room. With Chops, it's a steakhouse. With Izumi, it's sushi, right? Japanese cuisine. Coastal Kitchen is more like the main dining room in the sense that it's not one cuisine. It leans heavily on Mediterranean and California cuisine, which is more like code for just like more modern food, if you will. Not that they don't have classics in there as well, but I would definitely give it a try. Deputy Get Some. Go for dinner. The lunch menu is the worst menu by far. Dinner is the best, and breakfast is whatever. I would go on, I believe it's the first night. There's usually filet mignon on the first night. So yeah. Tyler said, Matt, I thought you were on Navi. Tyler, this is how I know you have no idea when our group cruises are, and all you do is book Laura O'Donnell group cruises, because our group cruise is not until Friday, my friend. I was not invited on the cruise that began today. I'm just saying. Yeah, Columbus the Musical on Harmony of the Seas is chef's kiss, Jonathan. Absolutely. What is my favorite cruise line, Desiree? I think it's Royal Caribbean. Pretty sure it's Royal Caribbean. Excuse me. Let's see here. What's my favorite thing about Independence of the Seas? I like their playmakers. It's a very minor thing to really write home about, Sherry. It's a really nice venue. I really like that quite a bit. There are other things that obviously stand out. Grease, the Broadway musicals on board as well. Jim Bob, thank you for the super chat. We're selling an Anthem of the Seas on the 23rd of June and saw they have a singles get-together. Do you recommend this for my very single niece, Abigail, to meet likewise singles? I don't. I went once to a singles meet. Actually, it wasn't a singles meet. It was a solo cruisers meet. I guess if you're really looking for, I think what it's really meant, Jim, is not to find love, but for other solo cruisers to meet solo cruisers. I'd be leery of it. I think it's a little too much of a random factor. I went to a solo meetup once, and it was just like a very odd assortment of people, and I was like, okay, well, this was nice. I went there not to meet somebody because obviously I'm married. It was more like, hey, I'm solo on this cruise. This was many years ago, and I thought I would go check it out, and then that was a one and done for me. Jay Lyman, your next cruise is Navigator of the Seas out of LA. August 18th. Nice. I'm going on Navigator in 4 more days. Can't wait for that one. Jetty wants to know, are ships much busier during the holidays or just a little bit? Just a little bit. I mean, ships sail full no matter what time of the year it is, Jetty. If you go to cruise in March, January, September, or December, it's going to be full. Maybe in January, September, there might be like 3 or 4 cabins open, unsold. But that's about it. We're not talking like, Christmas cruises are 100% full, and the cruises in like first week of December are, 75% full or 50% full. Ships don't sail like that anymore. They're all full all the time. The biggest difference, honestly, is that if you go on a holiday, there'll probably be more children on board, 3rd and 4th passengers. That can make a factor more than anything, rather than the amount of rooms or anything. Hey, Sam, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you. I will keep an eye out for Sam. Thank you, Sam, for the super chat, buddy. Wu-Tang Live wants to know, will Royal Caribbean ever jump into the solo cabin game on its newer ships in the future, or is that wishful thinking? Honestly, dude, I think it's wishful thinking. I think Royal Caribbean experimented with it, didn't really see much gain there. I mean, here's the end of it. I think, honestly, they're looking at, in my opinion, they're looking at it as just from a business perspective. They're going to make more money with double occupancy cabins than solo cabins. And if you want to look at, I'm not saying this is necessarily like, the end all be all of this, but as an example, look at NCL's stock price, which is a cruise line that delves heavily into solo cruisers. Look at Royal Caribbean's. Now, there's other factors. It's not all about solo cruisers. I get that. I think, quite frankly, the fact that they had started adding solo cabins, haven't done so in a little while now, I feel like that's part of what that is right there. Sailor Cruiser wants to know, is the drink package unlimited? It is indeed. Yes, there's no like daily limit or quota or anything like that. Let's see here. Jen Green, we were talking about you earlier from MEI Travel. Hello, Jen. Good to see you. Jordan, my wife and I just got off our first cruise in Symphony. So much fun. We're addicted. Nice. Your videos and tips helped us out big time. So glad to hear that. That is fantastic. Alice, thank you for the super chat. I'm going on Wonder of the Seas in February, and I have my time dining. Will I have the same wait staff in the main dining room when I dine there? And if not, how do I tip them? You won't. Don't worry. You're going to have your gratuities already prepaid. When you do my time dining, gratuities are automatically prepaid. You don't have to worry about that. You can ask for the same wait staff, Alice, if you'd like to. It's up to you. But it's already set up for you. So you don't have to do anything special with there. Let's see here. Dominator again with the super chat. Thank you, Dominator. On the Oasis, can I go to the spa locker room shower for free? Sure. Yeah. It's actually the showers in the fitness center locker room are a great little trick. If you're sharing a cabin and someone's hogging the shower, aka your kids, there are free showers you can use in the fitness center, and they're largely not that busy. So, Dukes, thank you, my friend, for the super chat. I'm going on Wonder of the Seas in November. If there are 2 comics in the attic on day 3 and 2 comics on day 7, is the routine always the same? Assuming it's the same comics, it depends on the comic. Too. Sometimes they repeat material. Like sometimes they'll repeat 20% material. Sometimes they repeat 80% of the material. It really depends on the comic. So it's not consistent across the board, to answer your question. So yes, it is. If you like them on day 2 or day 3, you might want to go back on day 7 and at least give it a try. Masato, thank you for the super chat. Finally got my diamond. Can't wait for your drinks. Congratulations, my friend. That is awesome. Dude, getting to Diamond and Crown and Anchor Society is really a big deal. I mean, you can still have a great cruise without it, obviously. But when you get 4 free drinks a day just for being Diamond, that's awesome. And you get it forever. I mean, it's not like the airlines where you get it for like a year and then you lose your status if you don't regain it again. No, this is yours to use as you see fit going forward until the end of time, which is awesome. Butler J 9737, thank you for the super chat. 5 days till Harmony. Where do we drop off our luggage Saturday? When arriving at Port Miami, is there a luggage drop off inside the parking garage? There used to be, but here's what I would do. I say used to be in Terminal A. There used to be, you would drive in and there was a drop off spot. But what I would do, Butler, just to be safe, unless there's a sign that says otherwise, I would go like as in like, hey, there is a drop off in the garage. Just to be safe, go around like you're dropping off people. Drop off your luggage, and then there's an opportunity to make a U-turn back into the garage, and then go back in there. That would be the safer bet. Miranda, have you made a video about the 3-night dining package? When I booked it, had me pick a day and time, but not a restaurant. Thanks for the help. We've done, I think we've done a dining package video, but in general, that's a placeholder. You can pretty much ignore that, Miranda. That time that you picked and day, it's irrelevant. It's just a placeholder for Royal Caribbean's system. Anyway, with the dining package, you have to wait till you get on board the ship to make reservations. That placeholder reservation is just that, a placeholder. You can just totally ignore it, basically. Lucio, was Icon of the Seas bigger or smaller than I thought? Good question. I'm going to say smaller. Not that I thought it was a small ship, because it wasn't. But it wasn't like substantially larger than obviously the Oasis class or anything like that. I didn't get on board and it was like, oh my goodness, this thing is ginormous. Granted, we didn't get to walk around the ship really, like we were escorted because it was a construction site. But I would say it's given the options of bigger or smaller, I'd probably say smaller. But again, it's certainly a big ship. Don't take that to mean, oh, Matt thinks it's a small ship by any means. Sam Rivera, Sam, thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna grab a drink of water here. 175 to Radiance, 320 till Icon. Those are good countdowns right there. Love that. Let's see here. Next question is from Bob Weber. Wants to know, what happened to the drink internet package combo? Yeah, it seems like they've gotten rid of it. Bob, Royal Caribbean changes its offerings from time to time. I got to be honest with you. While buying the combo internet drink package was convenient, most of the time it was actually not the best deal out there. When Royal Caribbean discounted the internet package, especially, oftentimes it was cheaper to purchase them separately anyway. So it's probably doing you a favor by not offering it, quite frankly. Let's see. Next question. These are great questions, guys. Appreciate you guys. Lots of different topics. Enraged Bacon, what a great name. Thank you for the super chat. 208 days till Odyssey. Is there a Broadway show on Odyssey? There is not. Royal Caribbean does have The Effectors, which is an in-house production, but there is not a Broadway show like Grease, Mamma Mia, something like that. Also, any inside info on shows on Icon? Yeah, we already know what the shows are on Icon. Or, yeah, it was leaked when I was there. There will not be a Broadway show. Wizard of Oz will be the main show. It's going to be an original Royal Caribbean production based on the movie. There was an Andrew Lloyd Webber production of Wizard of Oz. It is not that version. So, hope that makes sense. Let's see here. Shannon's first ever cruise this Friday on Navigator out of LA. I will see you on board. I will be on that cruise as well, my friend. Next question. Will just made diamond at the end of my last cruise. Any perks I should be aware for my next cruise? Yeah. Free drinks, dude. You get 4 free drinks a day per person. You get access to the Diamond Lounge, and 1 free day of internet. Those are really awesome perks right there. Luis wants to know, have I ever visited Nachi Kokum in Cozumel? Yes, I've been there many times. It's probably my go-to de facto recommendation for where to go for an all-inclusive in Cozumel. Kim Oakland. Kim, thank you for the super chat. Which Royal Caribbean cruises have I not sailed on? Almost all the Vision class. I've only been on Rhapsody, so I've not sailed on Spectrum, which is not a Vision class ship. Spectrum, Vision, Enchantment, Grandeur, Voyager, Radiance. I said Voyager already. Spectrum, I said. Ovation. So there's still a few out there. And Enraged Bacon, again, thank you for the super chat. Any suggestions on what to do in Curacao and also in Aruba? In Aruba's easy. Palm Beach or Eagle Beach. Pick one of the two. They're both great. Just, honestly, you just take a taxi over there. Curacao, I like to do a half day in, split my day. First part of the day, walk off the ship, walk to downtown to the capital there. It's very walkable from the ship. And you can explore the city. There's shopping, there's dining. And when you get too hot or you have lunch, go to Mambo Beach. Hop in a taxi, Mambo, and that's really, really good. Matt Gatlin says, I think I saw Royal Caribbean stock was at a 52-week high, so that should be a good sign of cruise business. Absolutely, yes. The stock market is very fickle by its nature, but Royal Caribbean especially has been doing exceptionally well in the last year with their stock price. But even Norwegian and Carnival stock price are coming up as well. I believe today's rally for the cruise lines anyway. And by the way, let me be very clear about what I'm don't take stock advice from Matt. I know nothing about the stock market. I'm not an investor. I'm an idiot. Please don't make any investments based on my advice. Just saying that. Or anybody on the internet for that matter. I digress. But I saw there was a report from a analyst, I think from Bank of America, who basically said that demand for cruising is back. It's stronger than ever, and things are looking good, which we all knew already, but the financial markets were a little slow on that. But yeah, if you remember during 2020, there were people like, oh, the cruise lines are going to go out of business and all that. I think those kind of fears are really in the past, if I do say so myself. Again, don't take stock advice from me. Brandon Stelz, thank you for the super chat. Is it hard to get a table for two at traditional? Hard, no. Number one, ask your travel agent to put that in your request. And then if all else fails, when you get on board the ship, go speak to the head waiter on embarkation day and ask for a table for two. I found it to be pretty not easy, but it comes out almost every time. Wesley, there you are, Wesley. Thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you, Wesley. I apologize. If there is a message, just type super chat in your message, and I will try my best to find it. But there we go. Wesley. Oh, there. I found it, Wesley. We're all good. Going on our first Royal Caribbean cruise this August without the kids. Celebrate your wife's 40th birthday. 7-night Mediterranean Symphony. Anything extraordinary I can do to make a celebration even better? Book an awesome tour. Really go all out with an awesome tour. I would say there's two ways. Well, three things you can do to celebrate. I get this question all the time. I want to do something special on a cruise. How do I do it? There are three ways that I can think of, unless you do something very personal, like maybe the person likes, a video game and you go to the arcade and spend all day there. But there are three ways I think you can reasonably probably celebrate quite well, go beyond. Number one, upgrade your cabin, right? Whatever you're in, book something you usually don't book that costs more money. Number two, book a specialty restaurant. Go to Chops, go to 150 Central Park and do a special meal. That's a little more affordable and fun to do. And number three is an awesome tour. Do a private tour, book a hotel room somewhere, go to an all-inclusive resort. Those are the three ways that, generally speaking, without getting too personal, you can find to splurge and celebrate somebody on a special occasion. Andy Hall. Andy, thank you for the super chat. Is it better to fly back home the day after my cruise ends from LA to Michigan? Depending on the times of flights, it can be. When you fly home the day after your cruise ends, getting off the ship is really simple. There's no stress. You don't have to worry about missing your flight. You can take your sweet time. There's no rush, right? But of course, you're going to spend more money on a hotel and more money on tangential expenditures like food and whatnot. But this is, and arguably, you might even get a better flight. Sometimes especially during summertime, the best flights are those early morning flights, first flight of the day, right? Right at 7 a.m., 9 a.m., something like that, because there's less delays with those flights. Anyway, you could then take that flight on the next day. Also, you extend your vacation. Cruise is over. Yeah, that stinks, but you still get to have another day and explore. LA has plenty to do. Disneyland, Hollywood, the beaches, right? So there's good reasons right there. Dave O. Dave, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate you. Hey, Matt, Insider Dave O finally getting a chance to listen in. Welcome, Dave. Always good to see you. 81 days till Mariner takes us to Bermuda and Coco Key. Nice. Loved your video on over underrated cruise tips. Awesome. That was a fun video. That was an idea I think I had, I think in Europe, and I just jotted down some ideas and then I came up with some more of them. That was fun. Thank you, Dave, for the super chat, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Rai 101 days to Liberty. Do comp casino rooms qualify for the royal upbidding process? Yes, I can't imagine why not, right? I mean, chat, help me out here. But I'm pretty sure the answer is yes on this one. I can't imagine why they wouldn't take your money. I mean, obviously you got to pay for it, but let me get a drink of water. What time does Stroll Water Park open? As soon as you get there, it's open. I don't believe they open later. Like, I don't think ships can get there earlier than 9. Even if they could, I think they're open. As soon as the island is open, they're open. Let's put it that way. And what are the lines like with 2 ships in port? Usually, lines really for the water slide start to build right around 10 o'clock or so. So the first hour or 2 is the best time to ride the slides. And then the last couple of hours, depending on what time you're leaving, can be the next best time right there. So, Virginia, got your crystal block. That is awesome. Fantastic. Mary, any tips for sailing out of LA? Ask me next week. Hold on a second. Am I allowed to change my dining time? Yes. Obviously, any point before your cruise, subject to availability, your travel agent can do that for you. If you booked with Royal Caribbean directly, then you have to call Royal Caribbean to change that. Tim Gallagher. Yo, Matt, was great to be on Oasis last week. Voom was way better than last year. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I really, 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 really hope the internet on Navigator is going to be amazing when we go on there, because I'm really over, like, is the internet good or bad? Will Royal Caribbean ever come to Mobile, Alabama? Probably not. I mean, never say never. Never say never, but probably not. Slew Dog, do you recommend using one of the specialty dining meals at Playmakers or save it and pay a la carte? Ooh, good question. It depends how much you eat, right? If you're just getting like a burger and that's it, pay a la carte. If you're going to order appetizers and entrees and dessert, then the dining package rather makes a lot of sense. Brooke Cordova. Brooke, thank you for the super chat. Brooke, I don't see a message from you here. Brooke. Oh, I found it, Brooke. Sorry, every time I say that, I then immediately find the message. Going on Grandeur in September with my husband and 2-year-old. Any clues on how to keep all of us busy? Oh, Brooke. Is it your first cruise? There's plenty to keep you busy. Trust me. A lot of, and don't take this the wrong way, a lot of people who've never cruised before have this fear. They're going to get on board the ship and be bored. Brooke, you're going to get a cruise compass, which is a daily guide to all the activities on board. You can actually see an example of one from Grandeur of the Seas over on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. We have an archive of them. So if you go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, main menu, in the main menu, there's a link that says cruise compass. Click on that. Anyway, this will give you a really good idea of what to expect on there in terms of all the activities and whatnot. Listen, there is plenty to keep you busy. So it's up to you to actually go to those things, right? Virginia, thank you for the super chat. I think this is the same Virginia who just got a crystal block. Thank you, Virginia. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Next question. T Broski, thank you for the super chat. And I don't see a message from you, T Broski, which means I will find it in 2 seconds when I click somewhere to find it, but I don't see it. Well, T Broski, thank you for the super chat, my friend. And Jay Maimon, thank you for the super chat. Is Navigator of the Seas a good place to do a wedding vow renewal? Sure, why not? I mean, any ship is good for that. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. Diane, is there a Broadway show on Celebrity Apex? No, I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Celebrity does not have any Broadway shows that I'm aware of at all. It's really just Royal Caribbean, NCL, Norwegian. I think that's it, right? I don't think any of the cruise lines have Disney Cruise Line has shows that have become Broadway shows, but they're not like the carbon copy of the Broadway show. Jolyn wants to know, I've been curious, why don't the ships have an onboard store of some kind with simple items like a hotel shop? They do. You know what's interesting, Jolyn? This may be why you didn't see it. It's located in the duty-free store. That's right right next to cigarettes and liquor, they have like razors and toiletries, things of that nature. They also have on some of the newer ships, like Wonder, they actually have self-service vending machines near the pool deck that serve those kinds of things. So they do actually have them. But it's very easy to overlook because you don't know they're there. They're not like front and center necessarily. Let's see. Theo, any tips for cruising with an infant? Bring more supplies than you think you're going to need. So if you're thinking, 7 nights, we'll probably need this many diapers, this much formula, bring 50% more than you think. What is my favorite main dining room dish? Ooh. You know what, Connie? It's not going to sound that exciting, but spaghetti bolognese, I really love quite a bit. I really like that. Jay just got back from the Wonder of the Seas. Nice. Yeah, Jeremy, honestly, Jeremy says a lot of ships I haven't been on. I wouldn't have expected that. That's the beauty of Royal Caribbean, that there's always new things to try out and do. I love that. Jose, thank you for the super chat. Is that Jobu on your shelf behind you? Yes, indeed. From Major League. I can't say the quote because we're a family-friendly broadcast here about Jobu, but yeah, it definitely is. Let's see here. I think during the pandemic, some people were actually willing to pray to Jobu in order to get the cruise ships back again. Christie's Cruising wants to know any suggestions for Belize besides struggling in scuba. We did a private tour through Royal Caribbean a couple of years ago. We went to the Belize Zoo and then to a restaurant and a beach, which was fun. But that was through Royal Caribbean's private journeys. And I got to be honest with you guys, private journeys, I don't know if anyone been able to get private journeys in the last year? Plus, they've not responded to any of my messages for hey, I'd like to do a private journey tour. So it's really tough to get a hold of them, unfortunately. The Tony Diaz. Tony, thank you for the super chat. I arrived on LA on Friday. Do you think I can make it to the group cruise? Hashtag one too many painkillers. Just saying. That's what I'm thinking right now. Robert, thank you for the super chat. What's the process of getting to Rome from port? There's a train. I think the most popular option is the train that takes you from, I can't say the name of that port, Civitavecchia or something like that. That's the most common one. It's easy. It's cheap. You can do car service if that's your style. And are beverages included while dining? Some beverages are. Water, tea, milk, coffee, like black coffee. Some juices in the breakfast are available and some flavored waters. But everything else costs extra. Is room service extra? Yes, unless you're staying in a suite. Never apologize, Robert, for asking questions. This is what we do here. I'm literally here to answer questions. That's all that matters. I just realized that we're using the wrong style here. There we go. Now we're the right style. No one noticed that we were using red before. Anna, to contribute for the super chats, right below where you're typing your message, do you see a little $sign? That's the button to hit. You don't have to do that, but thank you in advance. KSP Bama Fan 1, thank you for the super chat. Let me try to find your message. A name like that shouldn't be too difficult to find, I don't think. I don't see it, but your name is so unique, I will definitely be able to spot it if I see it later on. Thank you, KSP Bama Fan 1, for the super chat. Eric, I am on Serenade of the Seas in a 2-bedroom ocean view suite, and I was wondering if that comes with a suite concierge. Yes. Let's see. James, thank you for the super chat. Shiba Dog happily massaging his cheeks with his mouth wide open. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Ron, will you be wearing your Pinnacle pin on YouTube after you become Pinnacle after your next group cruise this week? No. First of all, it takes 6 months to actually get the pin. I'm never wearing the pin. That's okay. That's just my personal style right there. Shanice wants to know how to celebrate her honeymoon. Congratulations, by the way, on a cruise. We talked about this earlier, Shanice. I think there are 3 general ways you can celebrate without getting too personal with things that you personally care for. I would say number 1, upgrade your cabin, get a spiffy cabin if you can afford one. Maybe upgrade to a suite or whatever, something you don't usually do. Number 2, a restaurant, a meal at a restaurant. I'm not sure what ship you're going on, but book a specialty restaurant. Let them know it's your honeymoon. have a little romantic meal. And number 3 would be a shore excursion. Do a private tour, book something really outrageous, something that to really celebrate would be really nice. One other thing, Shanice, they do offer private photo seatings, or sittings, I should say, on the ship. So in addition to the photographers that everybody can use, ask to speak to the studio. There's a photo studio on board, and they can schedule it for you. It costs money, obviously, but the nice thing about it is you get some really awesome photos. Let's see here. Next question, Anna. Anna, thanks for the super chat. I'm really behind on the super chats. Anna, thank you for that. I don't see a message from you, but I will keep an eye out for it. Jason Lickard, I really like the last podcast. Local insider type info was pretty cool. Yeah, Molly's fantastic, and I'm so glad we got a chance to check that out. That was awesome. Thank you for that's on the Royal Caribbean Blog podcast, which is available on iTunes and Spotify and all those kinds of things. Dennis, thank you for the super chat. Red flag for a bad travel agent. Oh, good question. Fees. There should be absolutely, positively no fees for their service. Like if Royal Caribbean charges you a fee, right? Because you book non-refundable and then cancel, that's the policy. That's everybody. But the travel agency should never charge you a fee. That's a biggie right there. I mean, there could be others, but that's like the number one most common one out there, quite frankly. Nicole, thanks for the super chat. My husband and I leave on Wonder of the Seas on Sunday. Any last minute advice or insight? Print your luggage tags, which reminds me, I didn't print my luggage tags. I'm gonna do that now. You guys can watch the printer go. I always forget to do that. Double check your documentation. When you leave the house, Nicole, there are 2 things you absolutely need. Everything else is secondary. Your passport and your credit card. You're somewhere to pay for things. Those are the 2. Even if you forget your set sail pass, even if you forget your luggage tags, those can be replaced. Clothing, you can buy new clothing, but you can't get on the cruise without your documentation, and you can't get on the cruise. You're gonna need a credit card in case you forget something else, like those, your clothes or something else you need to buy. So those are the biggies right there. I'm also printing at the same time. Nicole, thanks for the super chat. Tony Crawford, thank you for the super chat. Matt, how often do the cruise directors turn over? Oh gosh, I was told this recently. How many? It's a certain amount of things. Basically, you do X amount of weeks on, X amount of weeks off. I forget exactly. Now, sometimes, Tony, they'll come back to the ship on their break. That happens as well. But I guess 4 luggage tags is probably fine. But it's a number of weeks. I mean, I want to say it's got to be at least like a couple, like three or 4 months, something like that. Maybe 6, as much as that. In fact, I want to say it's closer to 6 months. That is. Mary, what hotel are we staying at in Los Angeles? The DoubleTree by Hilton over in San Pedro, right by the port. Robert Williams. Robert, thank you for the super chat. We picked My Time Dining. Can we seat privately? Yes, but you may have to wait, Robert. So when you get to the booth and they're like, Mr. Williams, yes, we have your table ready for you. If you say, I'd like to have a table for 2, they may say, no problem, or however many in your group, I don't know. They may say, no problem, but you may have to wait for a table. That's all. Susan, why do some ships have Broadway shows and others like Wonder don't? Because Broadway shows cost extra. It costs more money. So it's all about licensing fees, quite frankly. Honestly, that's all it boils down to. Let's see. Next question. Matt, the man, myth, legend, the Royal Caribbean. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Keith Bruce. What's up, Keith? Do you think Royal Caribbean will ever cruise back to Egypt again? Ever is a strong word. I feel like Egypt's been pretty stable recently. They used to go to Egypt, and then there was a lot of issues with internal strife there, and the Royal was like, we're out. Ever? Yes. Soon? I have no idea. Kater wants to know, what do I think of the supper club experience on Icon will cost? Oh, how much do you think it'll cost? That's a great. I think it's going to be expensive. I'm expecting easily triple digits, Kidder, per person. Easily. Because it's such an intimate experience. Cruise Fanatic, thank you for the super chat. When will Utopia sailings come out? No idea. Royal Caribbean hasn't said it yet. Boy, and Will also wants to know any news on Utopia. I wish I had some updates to share with you guys about Utopia of the Seas. But I got nothing. I mean, there's certainly plenty of rumors and speculation out there, but nothing that I would care to repeat because at the end of the day, if I tell you something, I feel like it's got to be about as accurate as I possibly can. It does me no good to just rattle off and repeat rumors because if it's not true, I think it reflects poorly on me and it puts you in a situation where you become disappointed. I don't want to do that. So to be determined. I have no idea. Dean Moore, thank you for the super chat. Have you heard anything about Autism on the Seas? Yes, I know the person who owns the company, Michael. Great guy. I've known him for a number of years. It's a fantastic group. We have an article, how was it, Deanna? I don't think I'm pronouncing your name correctly. We have an article about it over at RealCaribbeanBlog.com. One of our writers, Allie, her friend works for Autism on the Seas, and Allie was on a cruise in which she wasn't part of the group, but she was observing it and has a write-up on it at RealCaribbeanBlog.com. Deanna, if you Google Royal Caribbean Blog, Autism on the Seas, I am sure you'll find it. Hey, KSB Bama fan, I found your message. See, I knew I'd see your message here. Going on Odyssey, what is your favorite excursion to do in Grand Cayman and Falmouth? Grand Cayman, 7 Mile Beach. Just get off the tender, pick a taxi, say, hey, can I go to 7 Mile Beach? And let them know what amenity you like. 7 Mile Beach is literally like 7 miles or even longer. And there's many different operations there. So let them know, like, hey, I just want somewhere to put my towel down. Do you want drink service, umbrellas? The taxi can take you to a good spot. Falmouth, I have yet to find anything good to do in Falmouth. I have no good recommendations. I apologize. Thank you earlier for the super chat, my friend. The Teresa McChain, thank you for the super chat. Tony may need more painkillers after I slap him Friday, just doing what I was instructed. You're doing the Lord's work here, Teresa. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Chris McGuire. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Going on our second cruise next week. Does Gold Level offer any decent benefits? You'll get a few in your cabin. You will get a printout of some of the benefits that you get. Is like a BOGO beer and wine kind of thing. It's not great, but you know. Nicole, I apologize if I missed your message. Just type super chat and your question again. You don't have to do another super chat. Just type super chat and I will read it. Smoky Bandit. No, I'm not Pinnacle yet, but I'm actually going to turn Pinnacle on Navigator this week. I have 693 points and I'm staying in a suite. So, yeah. Does that mean these chats will be for Pinnacle only going forward? It'll be me and Twankster, and that's it in the chat. Let's see here. Zach, thank you for the super chat, my friend. 5 more days till Independence of the Seas. Thanks for all the info you provide. You are very welcome. Ciara is going to wants a recommendation for a kid-friendly excursion Bahamas. Ciara, go to resortforaday.com. Resortforaday.com. Go to Nassau, and there's a number of good resorts to go to, and those are really good for families. Resortforaday.com. Mickey Malilo, hope I said that right. Thank you for the super chat. Does Wonder of the Seas have bumper cars? It does not. No. What's my opinion on Adventure of the Seas? It's a great ship. Alex Hernandez, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, going on Independence in September. I heard about wristbands. Will they be available on Independence? They're not. You're talking about WOW bands. They're only available on some Oasis and Quantum class ships. Independence is a Freedom class ship. It does not have it. Let's see here. Marie, you are very welcome. Thank you for the very, very kind words. I appreciate you. Thank you. Enraged Bacon, again, I believe this is the 3rd super chat of the day. Thank you, Enraged Bacon. Went on Wonder back in January. We loved it, but want to make people aware of the local market at the back of Labadee, and my wallet came out much lighter. There you go. Actually, I'm surprised. I thought for sure you were going to say about the market that they're very aggressive over there, which they are. But yes, it does exist. And there are some hidden gems in there, no doubt. Actually, I have a quick story. When I went to Labadee, I don't think it was last time, but recent trip to Labadee, I realized I forgot to pack my rash guard for my shirt. I didn't want to scare the children going without a shirt. So I didn't realize it until the morning of Labadee. So you might say, well, why didn't you buy one on the ship? Because they do sell rash guards on the ship. Well, when the ship is in port, you can't buy it anymore. I'd actually packed my thermal underwear top, which looks kind of like a rash guard. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I went to the market in Labadee to get one, and they had one, but the guy who took me there, he's like, "What do you need?" I'm like, "I need a rash guard." Certainly not a often requested item, but they had one. Eventually, he brought me to like 8 different stands before I got to the one that had it. Paid like some ridiculous amount of money for it, and it was bright, like neon, burn your retinas green. But they had it, and listen, I still got to enjoy a nice day at Labadee, so I can't complain. It's my fault for not packing it, but man, yeah, I did. My wallet also came out lighter over there. Les, thank you for the super chat. Les says, "Hey Matt, you said that Anthem of the Seas was moving to Singapore on October 24. I want to get that repositioning cruise, but it's not listed. What can I do?" You got to wait. It's not available to book yet, so it is still it's not there. Hey Angie, one of our writers also here at Royal Caribbean Blog. There's the article. You can't click on the screen. People are like, it's not working. But anyway, that's the URL. If you Google it, that's the article I was talking about, Autism on the Seas. T. Broski, thank you for the super chat. Explorer of the Seas, Athens to Rome. Casino wins in euros, not US dollars? No. Royal Caribbean ships are operated in US dollars. So you play US dollars, you should win US dollars. I don't believe that there's any difference over there. When I was on Anthem of the Seas, it was all US dollars. And that was selling out of the UK, quite frankly. Let's see here. Steve Hook. Steve, I wanted to ask, Royal Caribbean will begin Baltic cruises like Celebrity is doing. Don't know. I mean, you can see the schedule as much as anybody. Beyond that, TBD at this point. Hey, Carrie, if you're staying in a suite, do you have to be in a rush to check in? You get a flexible arrival time, Carrie. So when you book a suite, and your concierge will email you. Actually, did my suite? I just got it. Did the concierge email me this? They'll email you about 5 days beforehand, and you get, yes, here, I'm going to read it verbatim. This is from the Navigator Suite Concierge. Suite guests can enjoy flexible arrival, which allows you the freedom to check in up to 1 hour before or after your scheduled check-in time. So, Carrie, you still need to get a check-in time, but if you get 11 o'clock in the morning, you can check in as early as 10 o'clock or as late as noon. Dave wants to know, will Royal Caribbean ever dock in Ocho Rios? Doubtful. Why? Because Royal Caribbean owns the dock in Falmouth. So if they literally are paying for the dock in Falmouth, they're going to continue to dock there. So I don't expect that to be the case. Silveris, thank you for the super chat. How do you know if there's a priest mass on board? You probably won't until you get on board. In most cases, 99% of the time, it's self-led. Occasionally, they do have somebody leading it, but it's very hit or miss, and I wouldn't bet on it, quite frankly. So, and Rage Bacon, you are more, despite your name, you are very polite, I gotta say. Jeff Hoover, Jeff, thanks for the super chat. 89 Days Till Adventure. This is my first ever cruise. Woo! Have you ever tried Chef's Table? If so, is it worth it? I have. It's a intimate meal. It's long, takes a couple of hours. It's you and a group of like 14 other people. And if you're a foodie, it's the kind of meal for you. If you're picky, it's definitely not the meal for you. But definitely a neat experience. Something different. I've done Chef's Table now 2 or 3 times, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would enjoy it. I bet that you looked amazing in your neon green rash guard. Let me tell you something. Everybody knew where I was at any given time on Labadee. It was not difficult to find. I still have it, but I'm kind of embarrassed to wear it around because you stick out like a sore thumb, or in this case, a sore neon green thumb. Robert, thank you again for the super chat. How's the Voom Wi-Fi? Will we be able to post on Instagram? Post on Instagram? Absolutely, yes. More hit or miss, depends on the ship and where your ship is at, but generally speaking, it works good enough, certainly. You're not going to confuse it for your home internet, but it has its moments, certainly. Kimura. 20 years since my last cruise. Back then, I don't recall having to buy a drink package. Correct, they didn't exist back then. Can you get just water, regular coffee, and tea without a drink package? Yes, you can, absolutely. The drink package is for other things like, alcohol primarily, sodas, that kind of stuff. And of course, you can also order those things, by the way, a la carte. You don't have to pay for them. Like, you don't have to get a drink package. You don't get those things. You can just pay for it a la carte. So the drink package is really to have, a set price and be able to enjoy unlimited amounts of those kinds of things. Why is the drink package so expensive? Because people are paying it. It's in such high demand. So that's the case. Mark says, I see that your printer is like mine. Somebody prints something and it just sits on the printer. Yeah, in this case, it was me. But usually, actually, to be fair, when my kids or my wife print something, usually within a couple of minutes, they're all here to pick it up. But let's see. Vincent going on Mariner this September for the first time, going on to be Diamond after the cruise. Any must-do shows or restaurants on board? The ice skating show is really good. See the ice skating show on Mariner of the Seas. Restaurants, I love Hibachi. Izumi Hibachi, must do that one. Any review of the Rose Hall excursion? I went there many, many, many years ago, Vincent. If you Google Royal Caribbean blog Rose Hall tour excursion, which was a all-inclusive, there was the Hilton Rose Hall. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Maybe you're talking about the actual Rose Hall, which is like a historic plantation. In that case, I have not been there. If you're talking about the all-inclusive resort, I have been there, but it was many, many, many years ago. Is there anything to do in Tampa around the port, flying a day before the cruise? Yes, there's a, I believe it's World War II boat or battle warship of some kind right next to where the cruise ships dock. There is the Tampa Aquarium, which is very popular. There's beaches. There's a lot of cool things to do in Tampa. It's got a great downtown. Actually, if you're a beer drinker or just want to enjoy a nice evening, go to Ybor City, YBOR, Ybor. There's a lot of cool restaurants and bars and breweries over there. So yeah. Laura O'Donnell, I heard my name. Man, Laura, you've got Tyler so wait, I can't get this joke out. You've got Tyler wrapped so tightly around your finger, he has no idea when anything is happening that doesn't involve Laura O'Donnell, the pride of Kansas City. How are you, Laura? Good to see you. Hope all is well with you. Whenever we expand our team and start creating a blogging empire, we're going to hire Laura, and she'll be like our chief, I don't know, chief something officer. She's so cool. We just got to have her on board. Is there a limit to the amount of times, is there a limit to the amount of times or how close to sale date you can cancel and rebook at lower rate? Nope, not at all, my friend, not at all. Let's see. Am I the one who doesn't know what a rash guard is? Oh, it's a swim shirt. You know, like you wear it in the water. It's a waterproof, and it's also it's not waterproof. Water goes through it. Don't go. But it's SPF, so you don't have to use a sunscreen for it. And next question is from Laura, who's going on Ovation in 4 days. Good, Laura. I can't wait for you to go on that cruise because Jenna, our YouTube editor, is on Ovation, currently on vacation. And kick her off that ship. Tell her to send her back to work. Hope you have a great time. Deb wants to know, when booking a back-to-back, do they have to be booked at the same time? No, they do not. Jonathan Garcia, thank you for the super chat. 69 days until Allure of the Seas. Nice. We have a great time. Holly, have a basic drink package on Celebrity Eclipse. Will I be able to get something like rum punch without paying extra? Yes. It's really when you upgrade the drink package with the always included, there's just more selections. But if you don't care about the brand, the basic is totally fine right there. The American Victory ship. That's the one. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, if you say Tampa 3 times in our chat, Steve Cohen will probably appear. So there you go. Christine wants to know, is there any difference between lunch or dinner and Izumi Hibachi other than the price? No, same exact meal, same exact experience. So yeah, it's really good right there. Judith, I just booked the St. John's beach break. Tell me if I did good. Oh, you did real good. Anything that goes to St. John when you sail into St. Thomas is fantastic. It is Judith. St. John's is the most beautiful beach I've ever been to in my life. It is incredible. You're gonna love it. It's so good. Let's see here. Stephen Z, thank you, my friend, for the kind words. How much are the WoW bands? Greg wants to know. $9.99. And another super chat coming in from Enraged Bacon. Oh, trying to be polite about the market. They're very aggressive and will cover your name on their wooden products to make you feel like you owe them. Yeah. My advice to you I'm not a big fan of the artisan market. I know Royal Caribbean is trying to support the locals that work there and offer them this opportunity, but they've become so aggressive recently that it's just not enjoyable. So my advice is don't go there unless you're really prepared to spend money, or you're like used to walking through shouks in the Middle East or Chinatown in New York City and have the will of steel that you can resist, any sales pitch out there. But I get why they do it. It's just a tough spot. Spiff Me wants to know, are the Tulum ruins in Mexico worth a 9-hour total duration? It's tough, dude. This is a tough question. So here's the problem. You're going to take a ferry ride over, which is going to make you vomit because that ferry is notorious for getting people seasick. Then you're going to take like a 2-hour bus ride. You're going to go see these amazing ruins. Are you going to Tulum, though? Hold on a second. I thought this example I was giving you was for Chichen Itza. Tulum is a lot closer, but you're still taking the vomit comet. Then you're taking the bus over there. I mean, Tulum is not bad. The problem is the vomit comet. Honestly, this is what it boils down to. The ferry ride between Cozumel's on an island, and Tulum is on the mainland of Mexico in Playa del Carmen. And it's a very short ride in the ferry, but it's notorious for getting people seasick. And it's the reason why I've never gone there. I've gone to Cozumel dozens of times, but I've never gone to Playa del Carmen because I am the stories that I have heard about that ferry. I'm not willing to do it. If you are going to do it though, and let me forget me for a second. Plenty of people have done this spliff, so don't feel like you're missing out or you're doing something wrong. Rather, I should say, plenty of people have done this. But if you're gonna do it through Royal Caribbean. Do not book this on your own. Do not book this on your own because if the ferry is delayed, which it often does get delayed, you don't want to be stuck over there and miss the ship. So, yeah. Danny DiMatteo, thank you, Danny. Appreciate you. Thank you. And yeah, see, look at look at all the stories here. Mima, Keith. It is. You might think it can't be that bad. Yeah. Sorry, can't do it right there. All right, last question of the day is from Dominator. Any tips for Bayonne Port, New Jersey? If you're traveling in, if you're flying in, you probably need a place to stay. So if you're coming in and all you're doing is you're flying in at 7 o'clock the night before the cruise, and you just want to stay somewhere near the port, stay at the Newark Airport hotels. Newark Airport, not Newark the city, but Newark Airport. If you are coming in like a day or two beforehand and you want to go to Manhattan, New York City, to explore, do touristy stuff, stay in Manhattan and then take a lift or something over to the port the next day. That's my best advice right there. So there you go. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I want to say, before we get going, I want to say thank you to all our super chatters. Also, next week, we will be live, internet permitting. Next Monday, we will be in, not Cabo, Mazatlan. So there's a good chance we'll be able to go live there because the internet will work because we'll have cell phone coverage. So anyway, we'll be live next week right here. Well, not right here, but from Mexico on Navigator of the Seas here. So we'll have our usual time. That'll be 4:30 local time. I can do that. That shouldn't be a problem. So we'll be back again next week, but I'll be not here. I'll be on the road over in Mexico on our cruise. Big thank you to Danny DiMatteo for the super chats. Thank you to Rage Bacon, Jonathan Garcia. Thank you, Robert Williams. Thank you, Jeff Hoover. Thank you, Silveris. Thank you, T. Broski. Thank you, Les Sylvan. Thank you, and Rage Bacon. Thank you again. Alex Hernandez. Thank you, Mickey Mileo. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Chris McGuire. Thank you, Teresa McShane. Thank you, Deanne. Thank you, Cruise Fanatic. Thank you, Robert Williams. Thank you, Tony Crawford. Thank you, Nicole Sullivan. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, James. Thank you. KSP Bama fan, thank you. Robert Williams, thank you again. Tony Diaz, thank you. Jose Ether, thank you. Jay Mayman, thank you. T. Broski, thank you. Virginia McDaniel, thank you. Brooke Cordova, thank you. Davo, thank you. Andy Hall, thank you. Mercedes McGuire, thank you. Wesley, thank you. Brandon Stelz, thank you. Enraged Bacon, thank you. Kim Oakland, thank you. Enraged Bacon, thank you again. Sam Rivera, thank you. Butler J, thank you. Masato, thank you. Tukes Vegas, thank you. Dominator, thank you. Alice Frey, thank you. Sam Rivera, thank you again. Jay Maymon, thank you again. Jim Bob, thank you. Deputy Getson, thank you. Dominator, thank you again. Michael Krieger, thank you. Josh Carruthers, thank you. Desiree Hall, thank you. Kathy Crandall, thank you. Lanita, thank you. Jonathan Pace, thank you. William Neeson, thank you. Michael Healy, thank you. And Sharice Isaac, thank you all so very much. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great week, everybody. Check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for plenty more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun, and advice. And until our next live broadcast here on YouTube, have a wonderful week. Stay safe. Do something fun out there. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.